from Australia, Commonwealth Games gold medalist on the balance beam, but an exceptionally accomplished uneven bars practitioner. And she won the bronze medal in Osijek, her first World Cup honours. Top qualifier. This could do very well. Uses a Maloney transition at the start. And she gets real flight in her Kachev. Van Leuven as well used. And a very powerful dismount from Kate McDonald of Australia. Now that's the display of the top performer in qualification.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a performance of a 25-year-old gymnast from Australia who happens to be
Kate McDonald, an excellent surfer as well, by the way. Did a 5-week course recently to bolster her skills.
High-performance gymnast of the year for 2022 by Gymnastics Victoria in Australia. That is Kate McDonald.
Just coming out of this catch, I mean, that was full of amplitude. Does she just, yes, exactly there, lose the momentum by catching that pack salto a little on the high side? It wasn't so easy to tell from the initial angle exactly what had happened. But it was noticeable that she'd had a loss of swing. That will be a little costly from an execution standpoint, the way that the hips went into the bar. .066 in qualification. Did very well, didn't she, to actually get the swingfulness back recovered, because when you see it on the replay, it's clear how much of a clunk into the bar the hips have. But she's so experienced and she's so physically strong as well. .13.1 for Kate McDonald. Now, we have got gymnasts coming up who might be able to challenge that if they can hit the routine in the second half. Interesting. She's done well, McDonald, better than qualification. Joanne Hoi Yuan Chun from Hong Kong, China. Congratulations to her on a World Cup debut. She was the 7th best in qualifying. Very nicely done. Secure routine, perform well on a big stage. The complexity of it will not compare to the gymnast that we expect to really contend. But this is a 16-year-old who's appearing in World Cup competition for the first time. And she's just gone nice and smoothly through her routine, and that is a credit to her. She made her senior international debut at the Pacific Rim Championships last year in Colombia. She's also competed at the Junior Asian Championships. And she handled this occasion very nicely. What a moment to remember for Joanne Huayuan of Hong Kong, China. What must it feel like to be on this stage, to be in your first World Cup? You've made a final. That already is further than the vast majority of elite athletes will go in any sport, actually making a regular season final like this. And she's done better than qualification, 10.566. So really well done to the 16-year-old. Memorable moment in her young career. June McDonald from New Zealand. She represents Te Awero Gymnastics, a small but very good club in Christchurch. Nearly, she wasn't a million miles away there. She came in as the fourth best in qualification. June McDonald of New Zealand at her fifth World Cup event. It is her first time in a final. That carries with it probably a lot of emotions. She's an excellent young gymnast, by the way. She's the all-around national champion and the floor national champion. Well done. Good Jaeger somersault. Did well to hold that too. And again there. You know what? That might not be a victory on the scoreboard, but that was a triumph of determination. And again, that tells you a lot about this young gymnast. Ultimately got through that routine. Lots of heart shown. Audrey Rousseau will know all about it. Her level of experience, she'll have had that happen to her goodness knows how many times in her career. She'll have had days in the gym where it just hasn't gone right. Sometimes you have those days in training, don't you? Sometimes you have them in a competition. Sometimes they happen in qualifying. Sometimes they happen in the final. Any of you out there that practices that sport will know that feeling. But we saw a very nice Jaeger somersault from her. She was given a grant by the Inspire Foundation of New Zealand last year, helping her to come to these competitions, and that's a big part of it, isn't it? Just getting used to being an international competitor out on the road. And if you're final, that's one thing to tick off, that's another accomplishment, that's another step in her career. And we look forward to the next time we see her. 10.2 for June McDonald, down by about 2 marks from qualifying. Audrey Rousseau from Canada, second best in qualifying. There's the potential here to challenge Kate McDonald. She has been a World Cup champion. That was back in 2019. No complications so far. Almost there, but good strength shown. To put put some real strength in there to build the swingfulness back up. And her dismount has a nice landing to it. Now, where will that feature when we've seen all of these 8 routines? Rousseau, who was the second best qualifier, the gymnast who made her World Championship debut in 2015. She was part of the Canadian team that finished 6th in their final. She also was the first reserve for the vault final at the 2021 World Championships. She's another of those athletes who's always been there, working for a place on the national team, showing enormous love for the sport, enormous determination, super role model. Look back at the Kachev of Audrey Rousseau. .7, quite close to qualifying, but the execution has dropped by close to 3:10. So McDonald has seen off one of the challengers. Here is a gymnast who has got a routine that could challenge for top spot. Diana Lobok of Ukraine, 10.466 in qualification, though, with real execution issues, but it's got some complexity to it. Performs the Giga somersault with success. And the Jaeger as well. Having a few little issues with the handstands and keeping the leg form precise. And then the double pike to conclude. That's a different story from qualification for Diana Lobok, the reigning all-around champion of Ukraine. Made her senior European Championship debut last year in Rimini. Well, let's have a look back at this very different sort of performance from Lobok compared to the preliminary stage of the competition. Pax Salto had to then get the swingfulness built back up afterwards. Uses that Maloney skill, the Shaposhnikova variation, to go back from low to high. Some of the handstands were, by the looks of things, not quite at the vertical position. There was a little degree of tolerance allowed. And then the double pike to conclude with a small amount of landing adjustment. Execution score in qualification of 5.366. And she is up 11.566 on this occasion. one extra mark of execution.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue the competition now. Welcoming the gymnast representing Slovenia,
Lucia Riba of Slovenia. Now, she scored 12.433 in qualification. The third best. She's a very accomplished performer on the uneven bars. She's been a World Challenge Cup champion. And she's moving with real assurance throughout this display. That is impressive from Lucia Riba of here. There's no doubt that that is going to be a medal contending display with two still to go. Very good into the season. Traveling the world, working to get into finals, working to get into medal contention. Oh, so close to the lead, 13.033. She really has challenged Kate McDonald, who's held on, and McDonald is guaranteed a place on the podium.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the gymnast representing Slovenia, Vita Prijanovic.
Really special moment for Vita Prijanovic of Slovenia. She's done 4 World Cup events this season. This is her first final. Very nicely done. Another routine. She's a huge fan of the Gadirova twins, by the way. Vita Prijanovic dreams of being at a competition with them. And she's a very impressive and tough young athlete. She actually has a World Cup final appearance. 10.466 is virtually the same as qualification, so that's a nice bit of consistency produced. Difficulty, 1/10 down. We have a gymnast here who could make a quest for a place on the podium. Polina Diachenko of Ukraine, 8th best in qualifying with 10.066, but with a low execution score. Not all according to plan. Sets up for the straddle Jaeger somersault and performs it with a degree of assurance, but then unfortunately just clunking into the bar. Oh, goodness me. Just stay where you are for the moment. The treatment process out of the dignity that the athlete deserves here, and to give the medical staff time to do their work. The classified results in the uneven bars competition: the bronze medal to Audrey